Hello. Sorry guys, I had like 5 coffees today, so I may finish earlier, but I don't think anybody would mind. Yeah, so my name is Maciej. I work for Google Cloud, and I help gaming companies and game developers to educate them how to actually utilize Google Cloud technologies and to help them build better games and create better experiences. So I'm an avid gamer, whatever that means. I have responsibilities now. I have a cat, 2 kids, and a wife. And I cannot game that much, but now I work for Google Cloud and I'm responsible for game dev, so I'm bringing my gaming handheld on the business meeting and it's completely fine. So, Gen AI. I think you've heard about this year quite a few times. It's around every corner, it's in every fridge. And we're here to talk about how it actually can help you with building better games and to shorten the time to market these games. So yeah, like I mentioned, ChatGPT, I'm pretty sure you heard about this. It seems like Google is quite new to this area, let's say, of AI, of generative AI, but it's nothing really more far from the truth, because as you can see in 2017, Google laid the grounds of architectural work for training the models. In its publication about transformers, we released the data how to actually build the architecture, how to design it to train large language models. Since then, we open sourced this technology to everybody else, this research, and we are having around 3,000 researchers and 7,000 applications around the world to actually train models from now on. And so we can safely say, without sounding controversial actually, is that LLMs, as we know today, are built on Google know-how. Since 2017 until now, we have quite a few models. BART being one of them. I don't know if you're aware. BART Palm are actually the ones that are now being populated. Yes. And responsible AI. So Google releases products when they are ready to be released. Sometimes the market isn't, like Stadia or Google Glass, but the products are ready to use, to be improved after releasing to the public. But the playground of the AI research lies in responsibility. Google is trying and is responsible in its leadership towards eliminating bias when it comes to AI, eliminating any harm that AI can bring to the as a technology to its users. And we are leading in this ground, having the researchers and groups that we created to actually build responsible AI. Yeah, as you can see, we've been on this journey for quite a while. Google is actually utilizing AI in its products since for around 20 years. You can actually use it by itself. I think the most well-known product from Google is a workspace, which you may know as like a G Suite in the past, Gmail, Google Chat. All those features that you can see, like malware detection, spam detection and prevention, can easily. This might be something from. Yeah. So malware detection can prevent 99.9% of spam that comes into your inbox to Gmail. Smart Composer, thanks, help you actually define messages by prompting, and it will create messages for you. Closed captions in YouTube, like the examples are endless. You can AI generate summaries from your meetings when you use Google Meet. Unfortunately now it's only in English, but not only in English, but not in Polish. And you have a lot of new features that are being added to the picture on an even daily basis. It's not a technology that's evolving weekly or monthly. It's just like it's very dynamic now, especially this year. So how do we differentiate the products? So you may have heard of ChatGPT or BART. It's very consumer friendly. It's a consumer product. So BART or ChatGPT, you can actually prompt it to, I don't know, create 5-day training plan, which I'm pretty sure all of you are doing, or to draw like a funny picture of a cat, or whatever, create a menu for a date, or a dinner, or a vegan menu or something. But it's a really consumer product. We can say ChatGPT is like a vacuum cleaner for your data. It just digests everything in, and the algorithms, the training models are being trained to provide you with an answer, to predict another word. It's just a mathematical algorithm just behind that. So LLM, as we can understand, is a vast amount of data, of knowledge that the model can synthesize and give you in digestible form. And you ask these questions, you create these prompts, you get the answers. It's working pretty dandy. However, when it comes to enterprises, you have to ask yourself the different questions. Like, what happened with the data? Where is it being taken from? How accurate is it? How do we control costs? When you use LLM, actually what happens to our IP? How do we protect our privacy when we use these tools? So we can actually differentiate two tools, consumer-friendly BART, ChatGPT, and LLMs that are on the market, and Journey, and so on and so forth. But the enterprise-ready solution needs to have more measurements taking place inside the actual solution. So what we did with LLMs that you can use as an enterprise-ready is called Vertex AI. It's already built for you and available to you in Google Cloud Console, and you can use it already for months. Like Vertex AI was there since a few years actually, but now it's being introduced to a new set of features that are generative AI friendly. So if you look at this diagram, it can be complicated at first. However, bear with me. Generative AI app builder, don't pay attention to the product name at the moment because it's not that relevant. The concept is more relevant to you maybe. So you have your users, you have your APIs, you have your applications connected to your Google Cloud perimeter, which in this case will be Google Cloud Console. Right? You have your structured, unstructured data, and you want to use some AI. You want to generate some content. So what you usually do, you just use the model of your choice, and you can create content whatever you like. However, you want to add some context to the picture. You want to use your own data. How do we do that? So your data that you actually use for the queries that you generate on the large language model are being stored locally. The data that you provide as an extra parameter on top are being stayed and stored on your infrastructure, whether it's on-prem or Google Cloud, and they're not being even saved to that model. The model is not being trained when you use it. Actually, none of the models is being trained when you use it. ChatGPT, when you talk to it, you don't train it. It gets trained in the next iteration. But it's not live evolving. If anybody thinks it does, there's nothing far from the truth. So it's actually just a map. If it was learning when you go along, that will be actually AI. However, it's just a mathematical algorithm. And so your data, you put extra context on top, and you ask questions, and you get data relevant to you, content relevant to you. Also, it's built in your Google Cloud Enterprise architecture, so you don't have to integrate anything. You just click the button in the Google Cloud Console, and you actually can use it. And all your security measures that you defined for your Google Cloud Console are already there, because they're not being populated extra. Vertex AI is a part of like Compute Engine is a part of Google Cloud Console, or storage is a part of Google Cloud Console. So Vertex AI was already there. We're just adding extra features on top as we go along. So this is called responsible AI. You don't need to put anything into Google Cloud. We do it with every product that we release. So Google Translate is not learning from your translations on enterprise level. Your data is being stored, it's not going to Google Cloud. We're not using it in any way. The portfolio. So, from bottom to the top, you have infrastructure, which consists of GPUs and TPUs. This is the only provider that actually can provide you with TPUs is Google Cloud. This is what our design, and this is proprietary technology at the moment. However, if you don't want to train your own models, you can use ours. One of the foundation models that you can see here: text, chat, code, video, image, audio, music, whatever you choose to use from. You can also use the whole plethora of solutions within Vertex AI model garden, and you can use APIs. Also, if you're a developer, you can generate your own Google search for your private structure, let's say for your enterprise. You want to use large language model, but you have a lot of contextual data that you want to utilize, and you want to create, I don't know, ticketing system. So you can build your own Google search that will use large language model and generate queries with your extra adapter on top. That's been locally again. And business users can just use out-of-the-box solutions such as like from Document AI or some security solutions that we already deliver. So these are the models that you actually can choose from depending on the situation, because not every enterprise will need like a huge amount of data, huge model the pre-trained huge model to use. Some of the enterprises are using very specific kind of data sets like healthcare or financial or security. Yeah, so just to wrap it up in terms of like the differences between consumer products that are available to you at the moment and Google Cloud's offering. So first and foremost, I think controlling your IP, like I mentioned, the data is there for you and it's just locally stored. We're not learning from it, we're not even sending it to the model. This is how you protect your own IP, but also you protect your customers' data, sensitive information, all that you have. Choice. Like mentioned, there are like over 100 models at the moment available to you. It's either Google first-party solutions or APIs or third-party solutions open sourced. So not always bigger is better. You have enterprise that you will need some model to be trained for you. However, you don't need like all this information, so just in specific cases. So you have a choice. Grounded in factuality. This is funny because every single large language model will hallucinate. So this is designed to give you information without even having it. Let's say it will produce facts for you. That's what I mean. If you ground it in factuality, so if you specifically design the data set that you will use, and you will ask your model not to be too creative, it will give you more consistent information. And also, what we mean by grounded in factuality is that the legitimacy of the data that we use in our models is undeniable. We have this data is not coming from like illegitimate sources. Yeah, easy to get started. Like I mentioned, Vertex is already built in your Google Cloud Console, so you can actually log in and use it. Start using it. If you want to see how to use it, we have a Google engineer here that will show you how Vertex AI looks like and how you can actually use the models. And security, like mentioned, security is really important for Google Cloud, and all the security measurements that you are defining in your Google Cloud Console are being populated, not populated, but they're just there for all the products. You can change them, and all the compliancy that we have applied for Google Cloud products already being, Vertex is part of them, naturally. And when it comes down in terms of legality of the copyright issues, for instance, there was like huge discussion recently about some products and who is actually the owner of the content that AI generates. This is a topic that Google is exploring with legal firms across the globe, and we have lots of data sources at the moment that will show that are showing the research like where it is actually going, because it's not up to us, it's not up to Google to actually make these calculations. However, we are looking at this subject very closely, and there's a lot of research behind this, and we have a lot of data. If you wanna check it out, like, please feel free to reach out and provide you with this. Yeah, so I think the most important or really interesting stuff is the use cases for game dev. Yeah, so what we can see, we can differentiate in two kind of things. First is like the development of the game itself, and secondly, create new and better game experiences for the players. What we mean by that is, so the possibilities are endless, I think. In game assets, you can create audio, like a score for the game, all the tracks, royalty-free, dialogue flow, art such as, like, imagine you are playing RPGs or you're just developing RPGs and you have to create like an army of orcs marching in the background. Yeah, like artists would take hours or weeks or even months to do this, and this is not really that core to the gameplay, and so you can actually outsource it to Gen AI and it will do it for you. The game plot, we're not quite there yet. I don't think we have an AI generated game, not at this stage, but I think we may get there eventually. Game code. So we have a model that consists like that will help you with building the code, with editing the code. It's like a code assistant for you. Game localization. Okay, every single game needs to be localized, I think, to be important. That's a grinding work, I think, to be done by the translators. So you can use the Gen AI translation tools. They are not that synthesized like the Google Translate that we use normally, but they give a bit of an extra context or like a more storytelling experience. And captions. Obviously, I play a lot of RPG games, so I'm a visual person, so I'm always switching on subtitles. So these subtitles can be generated on Gen AI, and it's like a no-brainer. I think we've done this for years already with YouTube and with all different products that we use. Yeah, and new game experiences. Deliver dynamic context like NPCs. So imagine you play RPG, again, my kind of case, and there are lots of NPCs and you want them to be a part of a gameplay or at least have some kind of experience. At this stage, at the moment, they're just, the dialogues are not that great, they're just there, they're just making noise. So you can change that with giving them a bit of context and maybe make them part of the plot, so they will be at least conversational. User-generated content as well. If you play games like Minecraft, Roblox platform, you can prompt AI with a voice prompt to create something for you instead of like giving the ingredients and so on and so forth and doing this work by yourself. And then how it impacts the business is quite obvious. When you shorten the process of creation, you can focus. You can get the people to be focused really on more important tasks like really improving the gameplay, improving the plots, improving the player experiences all the time, and the time to market will shorten as well. Yeah, just to wrap it up, we have, if you look at Gen AI from Google Cloud perspective, we have Vertex AI, like I mentioned, so you have models for your disposal that can generate text, dialogue, I don't know, videos, audio, music, and so on. But also you have a Gen AI app builder. There's a small demo there, if you want, please feel free to check it out. It's so basically the demo shows how you can build like a interactive assistant for your players or for the viewer. This is actually the streaming company. So there is like a conversational bot that will ask a potential viewer like what's the mood, how much time does he have, what he wants to watch, and so on. So you can use it in like a game launcher, free game launcher, that you have like an assistant asking. You have a portfolio of games and you ask a few questions. How much time do you have? What kind of gameplay do you like? What kind of games do you actually want to play? And that will propose some gameplay for you. Yeah, and with the enterprise search, you can actually, like I mentioned, build an enterprise Google search for your organization using large language models and putting like a contextual data from your private, from your organization on top, stored locally again. And you can build this enterprise search for, I don't know, like a ticket processing and so on, like I mentioned before. This is our portfolio when it comes to models. You have foundation models that are built and designed by Google and trained by Google. There's around like, I think, 60 plus first party. You have also pre-trained APIs. This foundation models, you have Cody for code generation and editing. You have Palm, you have Imagen for text into image processing. And we have pre-trained APIs and also open source that we use and that we help build, like Stable Diffusion, for instance. And there will be more and more coming. Like this is a process that is evolving very, very dynamic. So the things I'm saying now, in like 3 weeks' time, there'll be much more to add. Yeah. So if you wanna explore this topic and maybe brainstorm about use cases, we are more than happy to talk to you guys. And I think it's really worth checking out on Google Cloud how to actually use and design the models.
Yeah, thank you, Maciej. Thank you so much. Maybe there are any questions? Yeah. Would you be able to handle it?
I don't know if I can.
Okay, yeah, we'll try.
So if I want to host Vertex AI on-premise, what kind of hardware is needed on our side?
There is no way to host Vertex AI on-premise. You can host it in Google Cloud Perimeter.
Okay. So because I'm worried about like privacy, because we want to train those or use those models for outputting configurations that are based on our proprietary code. Okay. So I don't really want to send our code to some third-party infrastructure. So,
Okay.
yeah.
By third-party infrastructure, you mean Google Cloud?
Yeah,
So, is there a way to actually keep it on-prem and use the LLM? No. Short answer. Because LLM is used in Google Cloud parameters on the Google Cloud infrastructure. It's being trained there. You cannot just bring it to your infrastructure because it wouldn't be possible.
It's our managed service.
Yes, it is managed service. However, your data in Google Cloud is on your infrastructure and doesn't go anywhere.
However, we can try to convince you that your data is going to be safe, but still.
Yeah, we can have that discussion to convince you, to show you how actually safe it is. Yeah, but you cannot put it.
Still, it's a Google managed service.
Yeah, it is still a Google managed service.
Sure, thank you, Maciej. Thank you very much.